speaking this morning to Azman Zulkiply. He's a
Hello.
voice actor. Good morning, Azman.
Awesome. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Like I said, he is a voice actor and he's voiced various cartoon characters or animated characters.
Exactly.
What was your childhood like, Azman? Did you always make character voices growing up?
Yeah, I suppose I grew up with cartoons. Cartoon was my life when I was a kid. I mean, even now, I think I got to thank my elder brother on that. I think when my mom was studying in the UK, I think one of the sources of entertainment for my brother was cartoons. So he would watch all these different cartoon shows, and he would record them on the VHS. And then when they get back to Malaysia, I was born, and then he got all these collections of empty-looking tapes. I mean, because they're all like VHS tapes that you recorded over, and that was it. I was just there binging as a kid.
From when you were a baby?
No, I think from the moment I knew how to operate the tape player.
Okay.
So it was just full-on Tom and Jerry. Which doesn't really have any dialogue in
Yeah.
it, but you have all that sound Tom would make whenever things fall on his feet and stuff like that, and cartoon shows like Ninja Turtle, all that stuff. So as a kid, naturally you would want to try to be one of those characters. So
Really?
I think be as in like sound like them.
Okay.
So you would try to walk like them, jump like them, and then you would try to talk like them. So I think that's when I sort of picked it up,
Okay.
without knowing that it's a voice acting thing. I think I was only aware of voice acting after I watched Lion King, 1994, and that's when I had this whole new appreciation because they were showing a lot of behind the scenes at that time. So I was like, oh my god, there are people voicing these cartoon characters, and then that's when I knew, ooh, okay. But that wasn't really the moment where I thought I wanted to be a voice actor. But it's just that one of those, it started from there, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what was that moment then when you knew you wanted to be a voice actor?
It was, fast forward, super crazy. It was in university when I was studying animation. Yeah. So I was doing animation, and then I was doing my final year. And then I've got like a bunch of characters that needed to be animated, and that's fine. But we had dialogues for the characters, and I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? So okay, I filled in 4 of the characters, and my girlfriend then, who is my wife now, she voiced one of the female characters. So I think that's how it all started. And for my thesis, my degree thesis, it was about voice acting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So before that, you wanted to just be an animator, not really a voice actor.
Yeah, I just wanted to be in the animation industry. Yeah.
So by accident, because you're forced to do it, and then you're like, we're not going to pay all these people to do all these voices. Let me just do it and save a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And then it just worked out.
And it just worked out.
And you realized then that you can make all these different voices.
I realized it along the way. It's just that at that time I was like, maybe this could be a path, you know?
Right. Can make some money out of it.
Yeah.
Because I think for the younger ones, I mean, for the younger ones, maybe all the Disney stuff, but for the older ones like me, I think the moment was for me to use my voice watching Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
The guy, Peter Cullen, he just can do like all the voices. So I'm like, wow, that's
That's crazy.
a great
Yeah.
gig. But back in the 80s, I'm pretty sure the money wasn't as good as it is now, is it?
Actually, in the States at least, I think they're making good money out of that. Yeah, because they made a name for themselves by just doing voiceovers. You know the trailer guy, Don LaFontaine.
Yeah,
the legendary Don LaFontaine. He just made a living out of making trailers, which is crazy.
Coming to a theater near you. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta watch the movie.
That guy's pretty much talked like that this
Right.
summer. Hello, JD. How are you doing?
Yeah. I will have the steak.
I'll have the steak. Yeah. Stay away from me.
But Azman, how did you get your start in this industry? Do you remember your first ever voice acting job?
Paying
Properly paid.
a properly
paying
paid
jobs.
one.
Yeah, it was for a friend, with a friend's rate, of course. But I got paid, and that was I didn't have any gear at that time. At that time, I was actually teaching animation at the same university I was studying.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity for me to try out. So I went to the equipment depot in my university. Can I borrow that Zoom so that I can record this voiceover? So I think that was like one of my first. It was an app. I don't remember what app it was, but yeah, it was. That was like one of the first. It was 2011 ish.
Okay.
I don't remember.
All right. So that was your first paying gig.
Yeah, first paying gig. Yeah.
All right. But tell us about the various characters that you've voiced for. Which is your favorite?
Which is my favorite? Oh, that would be. Oh man, that was a hard question. you know. Okay, if I were to really pin down, it would be in 2016. I voiced the main villain in BoBoiBoy the movie.
That was you.
Yeah, in 2016,
Cool.
BoBoiBoy the movie. Yeah. So I thought, and that was my first feature.
Okay.
My debut for feature animation, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I just remember throughout all the recording sessions, it was just a lot of screaming because villain have to scream all the time and laugh all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you look at the animation first before you decide what voice you want to give him?
Those are the different process actually. If you
Okay.
get to look at the visual, then that's great. You have something to work with. But sometimes all you have is just a piece of paper.
A brief,
with
right,
a
of the
brief,
character.
Sometimes you just get verbal brief from either the audio engineer or the director, but all you get is just lines, and you just gotta make sense out of it first, and then deliver, and then you'll get feedback. It's a lot of back and forth.
How did you work for BoBoiBoy though?
I think I'm lucky in the sense that because I was in the animation circle.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then with BoBoiBoy, I think it was because I knew Nizam, the director, and I also knew Anas, who is the voice director. And is this one of those that, hey, let me try? I want to try out a few characters, And then I'm not sure if there was an audition, but I think I sort of forced myself into giving, letting them to give me an audition.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I always watch like the international ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes you said you don't even get to see the character. Sometimes they actually build a character around
Your
say,
voice,
a famous
yeah?
person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that be like the ultimate where you get to do like Toy Story 15? I don't know how many other Toy Stories there might be, right?
Coming soon in 2040. We haven't. You were saying about how we would look like or how we would
Yeah.
sound
Did
like.
they do that for you?
I think not with Borara, with BoBoiBoy the movie. I think if you guys watch Agent Ali,
yeah.
General Rama, the Indian general in the series and the movie. I think when we were working on the series, because the thing I like about that project is that we were given full creative freedom to interpret the script and stuff like that. So one of the trademark line that he will always give is "they," right? So in the script it's just "they." So I thought, and then I got these briefs, and then the voice director said, "Hey, we want this Rajnikant kind of vibe coming from this guy." So what I did was I did a bunch of echo. I just did it, "Day, day, day, day," and they were like, "Okay," and they actually included that in the final version of the episode.
That is the coolest thing
Yeah.
ever.
So I was like, oh wait, I mean, I was like, when I was watching I think the pilot, and when it went into TV, and I was like, oh my god, they put it in. So I was like really excited about that.
You're the day guy.
Yeah, it's the day guy. Yeah.
But like you said, some jobs it doesn't require you to go for auditions, but most
Most of the time.
you still need to go for auditions, like the actors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Even if I know the director and stuff like that, they will always have hold this audition session. Yeah.
How fierce is the competition in this industry?
I wouldn't say it's fierce, but for now I would describe it as it's very there's variation. I mean, there's diversity, but for me, it's still working with the same bunch of guys. For me, what I wish for is I would want a bit more fresh talents, fresh voices, because even if there is a form of competition, but having that diversity it would work really well for the industry. I mean, you wouldn't have so much of maybe one guy would voice 10, 15 different characters. I mean, why not have this diverse cast, So that's, I think, one day.
Do you think
I
it's
would
because
look forward to that.
not many people know that there's a job like this and they don't know where to go to find the jobs?
I think they know, but it's a matter of how do you go to auditions? How do you
even get
in contact,
contact with
Yeah.
someone, right?
Yeah. I think for now it's very limited in that sense. I mean, for me to get, because I'm in DD and Friends also.
Yeah.
That was by accident. Audition calls sometimes is just some random posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then maybe some of your mutual friend would just tag you. And I'm like, who is this guy tagging me? I was like, oh, it's that guy. I mean, but he tagged me. I mean, how nice of him to tag me into this audition call to audition. And then I was like, oh, okay, I should try it out. Yeah. And sometimes it was just me sharing a call to audition. And then the director was like, hey, try out. Because at first it was like for kids. And I'm like, oh, it's for kids. So I'm just letting it out. Whoever have kids who can do voice, cartoon voices. And then the director was like, hey, try out. Try the dad.
Right.
Yeah.
But you need to be in the know of who to be connected to
Yeah.
and whatnot. So there's not like one particular Facebook page that says voiceover auditions for Malaysia. There's no such thing, right?
Maybe we should start that actually, right?
But you know what? Upin Ipin has a very big fan base in this region. They had this huge audition, call to audition. I think it was 2015. You wouldn't imagine the line. People from the whole country came to Shah Alam to try out.
Really?
So I live in Shah Alam, right?
Yeah.
So the audition starts at, well, let's say 9, right? So I'm like, I live nearby. I can just go there at 8:45. You're talking about people arriving there at 6 to get their number. And here I am arriving. I'm like, I'm number 704. I'm like, what? So I went to the mama and just waited. And
Did you get any role? in
unfortunately,
Upin
no.
Ipin?
I mean, that's the I would say the beauty of audition. Even if you don't get anything, it's the connection that you get, the friends that you make along the way. But no, I haven't had the chance to work with the guys with Upin Ipin yet.
Now, earlier you said that it's possible sometimes that in this industry that one person will voice multiple characters in
yeah.
a series or in an animated movie. Have you ever done that?
I've done 3 for Agent Ali.
3 characters.
3
for-
characters, yeah.
And different voices.
Different voices. So
How do
they're-
you remember?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting question because a lot of people would even sometimes the audio engineer. I mean, do you remember your voice?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but let's listen to it.
Right.
But most of the time, there's this little quirk that is just the character that I will. Once I did that sound or whatever, then I'll be that character. So there's this one guy who just speak in a very low, breathy tone.
Give us an
Like
example.
what? Yeah,
So there's this guy called Agent Rizwan. So he just speaks like this. Nama saya Agent Rizwan. So I just gotta say Nama saya Agent Rizwan. And that's
Right.
it. I'm in
And
character.
then you're in character.
So
okay.
with General Rama, it's basically day. Yeah. And there's another kid, Victor. So he's like a 12-year-old. It's like sometimes you just go to their catchphrase. So his catchphrase would be power. Kenapa mau main game? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Is it muscle memory that you go to control something in your vocal box?
Yeah, it's all in the throat. I don't know what's going on in there, but it's a lot of pressing. It's a lot of. But I think Bel, you could relate to this. Once you've done like maybe a full session, I mean, you feel tired in this region of the throat,
Yeah.
and you're tired because you're using a lot of your breath. Yeah, so I think it's all muscle work
Right.
Yeah.
in that area.
Well, I haven't had a chance to voice cartoon characters just yet, but I guess it's not as difficult just doing voiceovers for ads.
Yeah,
Right?
But let's say for high intensity, high energy read, you would feel tired
Yeah,
after
you will
15
sweat.
takes or so. Yeah, you will
Right.
sweat. So you're working some part of your body right there.
I've done one, and I don't know how I got it, but I was like, that was a tiring experience.
It is.
But I probably will never do it again, because I imagine if I actually went for an audition, I probably won't get it because this voice is me. Right? Have you gone for auditions where you're like, now is it because you're just not right for the fit, or you just completely mess it up? You think?
I've done both because sometimes it's just a matter of miscast because they thought I could do a bunch of deep voice, but not James Earl Jones kind of thing.
Right.
So it's a miscast. So, but sometimes I was like, oh, let me try it one more time, guys, one more time. And then they were like,
Nah.
it's nice knowing you. Maybe in the future we'll
Next
call
one,
you again.
KIV, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever used your own voice for a character, or do you always have to make another voice?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I think it's only one instances. but most of the time I just have to alter my voices. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've never used your own voice as a character.
Man, I mean, the fact that you're asking that and I can't recall.
How about Oma and Hana?
Oh, yeah, that's my voice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the dad.
Because I clicked on your
Yeah.
your profile and I saw that you were the dad in Oma and Hana,
Yeah,
and that
is it-
sounds like you,
Yeah,
right?
is this my voice being all
Dad.
politey and fatherly? It's like, Omar, don't go there. It's dangerous. Yeah.
So in your mind now, when you categorize all the voices that you can do when you go for auditions, you're like, dad role. It's me. So can you categorize different voices now in your head?
Sometimes I would just have this like label. Let's say old guy, for like you were saying, if it's a dad, yeah, maybe it's just my voice.
Right.
I'll just start from there and then maybe alter it whenever they need it. Let's say for an old man's voice, my go-to is always Gandalf.
Right.
Yeah, because old people talk like this in my mind. And then they would either say, that's too old, or let's make him a bit, energetic old guy. So it's just...
So it's customizable.
Yeah, it's customizable. Oh, that's an interesting term. Okay.
Right.
It's like a little dial.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is something like that. I use a bass reference, and then it just goes up or down or left or right from there.
Fascinating.
Interesting. But how long does it take to sort of finish recording the voice of a character in a cartoon series or a animated movie?
It goes for several sessions, for several different sessions, ranging from 1 to 2 hours per session. Yeah. So I would say maybe 5 onwards. Yeah.
5 session onwards.
5 onwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Agent Ali,
Yeah.
how long is that? An hour and a half movie, right?
Mhm.
Is it a movie or a series? Agent Ali is a
There's-
series.
They started
right?
off with the series, 2 seasons, and then they've released the movie last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were in the movie.
The movie and the series.
Right.
Yeah.
How different is it recording stuff for a series compared to a movie?
Well, I treat all jobs the same. I mean, they're still I take it seriously, but I think the main difference is that with series, they tend to lock down on the writing as soon as they can because they gotta chase the episodes.
Right.
With the movie, Agent Ali the movie, and I can also say the same thing for BoBoiBoy the movie, because there's this constant rewriting. And I would read the line from a scene this week, and then maybe for the next session, they say, I was like, oh, I thought we were done with this. I was like, yeah, we just got to change the path of the journey, the story a bit more. So there's a lot of going forward, go back a bit, and then going forward again. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. So for movies, you have to re-record sometimes, but series not so much.
There's always this session called pickups, which means they just change a few terms, they change a few lines. Yeah, it's always there. Yeah.
Oh, so it's probably not because of what you said. It's probably because the animator, like, maybe it flows a bit better. Then they have to get you to say something again.
Yeah, it's a whole huge team effort actually. Even the animators would have. It's like tell the writer, I was like, hey, maybe we could have him say it this way,
Right.
something like that.
But because it's an animation, it's not just about reacting.
Yeah.
Or if you know what I mean.
But they just gotta reanimate, which is a whole different process.
Right,
Also.
yeah.
Painstakingly.
Right.
But I'm sure this is a question a lot of people have in their minds. Like, how lucrative is this career? Do you make a lot of money as a voice actor?
Are you minting it?
A lot of people would say that, but it pays the bill. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty comfortable for me. But you just got to keep the hustle going, right? Keep telling people that you're still there, and I mean that there's still a lot of work to be done. I mean, I don't think I can afford to just maybe have that big break for a movie or whatever, and then I'm set for the rest of my life. No, I don't think so. But the hustle is still there. I mean that there still has this. I mean, I still gotta do some corporate reads, a bit of audiobooks.
Right.
Yeah.
But how much can you hustle? I mean, in Malaysia,
Yeah.
there's only so much work available, isn't there?
There will be work.
Right.
I mean, you can talk about the usual things like advertisements, but sometimes you'll get the weird, some weird stuff. Yeah.
Video games, you were saying. You
Oh, yeah,
voiced
video
video
games.
games as well.
Man, you do everything.
Yeah, I gotta do everything. You just gotta pay your bills, man.
But you're doing this full time now.
Yeah.
So you're not doing animation anymore.
I've been doing this full time for 2 years.
Okay.
But before that, I was teaching animation and doing it at the same time on the side since 2011. So up until I resigned from my job, my teaching post in 2018.
How did that feel? Like,
Ooh.
I'm going to quit my job to be a voice actor and I'm going to do cartoons and stuff like that.
It was like
What was that decision like?
process,
Yeah.
right?
it was scary actually because I was working at that university, multimedia university, for say 11 years.
Wow.
So you're talking about leaving the comfort of 11 years.
Yeah.
And then it's like a big leap of faith, really. So I just make the call and then just tell everyone, and it's like, I'm leaving, guys. It's been nice knowing you, but I'll drop by once in a while.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I miss teaching. So, but yeah, and I think because of that fact, I do teach voiceover sometimes. So it's just the same thing as teaching, sharing, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now, what are some of the challenges of being a voice for cartoon characters?
The challenges, it's probably purely communication. Maybe the other end, they don't know what they want, so you gotta try your best to interpret it the best, the best way you can. Another challenge would be 2 hours later, but the session is still going on, but you still gotta keep that voice running.
That energy.
Yeah, the energy, and then you're like, oh, can I just end this right now? Yeah, and I think a lot of the challenge is at the start, especially if it's a new show, and you just want to make sure that your voice doesn't sound the same as this other character from another show, because for established shows, the fans can be unforgiving, right? I mean, they would say, hey, that guy sounded like that guy from the other show. I mean, and even the speaking style is different. It's the same. So you just got to make sure some small quirks are different from your previous character.
No.
Yeah.
So you have to constantly innovate, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
With your voice. Now, during the MCO, none of the studios were open. They were
Yeah.
just opened recently.
Yeah.
What did you do to keep busy, or were you just resting at home?
I was resting, play video games, and also I still do my voiceover work.
How?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but you can't go to the studio.
I can go to the studio. I do have my own setup. I do have my own studio, but I think it was a day before the 18th when the MCO started. I just grabbed like the most basic gears I can get and then set it up in my wardrobe at home.
Right.
So you were still getting jobs during
it
the
was
MCO
it was
period.
a bit slow. I mean, you're talking about there are no animation jobs throughout the MCO, but it's the usual commercials, which I'm really grateful for. It was a bit slow at the start because we're trying to get used to the whole okay, how do we record remotely and then give it back to the producers or the writers, and then they all start using Zoom and all that stuff.
Did you record on do it on Zoom? What?
Not directly on Zoom. I mean, Zoom is mainly for a communication device, but on the side, next to my laptop, that will be that mic setup and stuff like
Right.
that.
And then they'll go, no, change this, change that.
Yeah, it's like any other session.
Right.
It's just that sometimes it was like, wait, I can't hear that. I was like, I'm like, that's probably your internet connection.
But did he complain about the quality of the recording? Because it's not in a professional
Well, it's what
studio.
they heard. So what happens is that I would record it to my software, and then they would hear it through the
Zoom
or
or
whatever, and then I would send it over to them. And I was like, okay, if you want to listen to the actual quality, this is it. I mean, I give them a link or whatever, and then just send it over to them. And then they were like, okay, this is good. Take 5 is good.
Yeah. But no one's ever complained like, you know what? When you're in a professional studio, it sounds so much more crisp or whatever it is. But when you're recording at home, it sounds a certain way. Do they ever say that?
No, because I think at the start of the MCO, a lot of us we got together and then we made this list of talents who can work from home, and then we would provide our samples. So obviously it has to be good or good enough for the engineers from any other radio stations or stations to work with. Yeah.
Right.
This is the Voice Guild that I'm part of as well.
Yeah.
Azman is the tech guy in there.
Oh yeah. Whatever. My website is down. Can you get it fixed? And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me talk to my website guy.
Oh, so you don't get it. It's not you.
It wasn't me,
personally.
but I just know the guy who made it.
Yeah.
Shoot. I thought it was me all the time. No, but
I thought
there's
it
a small
was
team.
you. Yeah, I thought you
Asman's
were the
going,
tech
have you
guy.
tried switching it off and on again? That's how tech guys do it.
No, but Asman, as a voice actor, if you want to be known as a voice actor, when you take up commercials, right? Do you feel like you're sort of just doing it for the money?
Oh no, a bit, some of it, because you got to pay the bills.
Because as when you're doing commercials, most of the time you're just using your own voice, and it's not, you don't need to sort of act that much, right?
It's just that for me, commercial jobs is basically my main body of work, because you gotta admit that these are the areas that pay my bills every month, and but first and foremost, I love the craft. I just love doing it. And you're talking about doing using your own voice, but because they know I can do character voices, sometimes it's still my voice, but talking like I'm high on sugar sort of voice. So sometimes I just gotta exert myself a bit whenever I do commercial jobs.
So wait, what are you saying? Like 80% are commercial jobs and 20% are your passion jobs, that it comes from how much you're getting?
You could probably say 70-30.
Right.
Yeah, because sometimes you do want to focus on your passion, which I'm working on right now with Ernest Ng, the dude who drew the comic Bro Don't Be Like That. Love
Oh,
Bro.
yeah. Right.
So he's drawing some COVID comic.
And you're voicing it.
And me and a few other guys, we're like, hey, let's turn this into like a comic animation, and then we're just doing that just for fun. All right, we're not talking about money, but we're just doing it because we love what we're doing. So we were just a bunch of animators working on it. Also, I mean, it's not the most complex animation that you can talk of that you've seen, but people love it because it's highly relatable to what's happening with our country right now. Yeah.
Right.
So what is the most rewarding thing about this job if it's not for the money?
Oh, all right. I love sharing this because I've been to 2 premieres for the movie I was involved with, BoBoiBoy, the movie, the first one in 2016, and the recent one, Agent Ali, the movie. And I think is going to Jakarta to watch the reaction of the fans when they watch the movie. Because prior to the premiere in Jakarta, on both occasions, I've watched the movie like 5-6 times. And then coming into Jakarta, and then I don't watch the movie. We're all in the same movie theater, but we don't watch the movie. Some of the voice actors, we don't watch the movie, but we were just looking left and right, looking back, and it was just to see the reaction of the fans. I think that was fun. And because going back to BoBoiBoy, because I was the main villain, and then after we went out from the theater, and then because they know I voiced the main villain, and then they came up to me and was like, "I hate you. You make me cry."
Right.
And I was like, "I'm sorry." Yeah. But that was what villains do.
Yeah, but in the back of your mind, yes.
Yeah, but
I did a good job.
Yeah. So it's that sort of moment, Yeah.
Oh, interesting. What's your advice then to someone, interested in walking this path that you are on?
Is to show what you can do, really. I mean, right now we're in a world where we can all connect. So just posting some simple videos on Instagram, sometimes that would do the trick. Like I can do like 5 voice. I mean, just post it unedited on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, doesn't matter, and then maybe something will happen out of that. Yeah.
Because a lot of people actually ask me, how do
Right.
I get into the voice guild? How do I start doing voices for radio or for ads? And I have no idea.
Yeah, how do you do it? I've been doing this for like so many years. I didn't know how to go into the voice guild.
Like, I think to first is to get noticed, really. And I can safely say that a lot of studios and animation studios, they're always looking for new people to work with. And then I think the best way is just because if you really like this thing, obviously you're not thinking about the money just yet. But if you really love doing what you're doing, this craft that is voice acting, you'll just put up content and then just have fun with it. It could be just dubbing over a visual, or it could be just you and then doing some different voices. It could be that. But as long as you're noticed, and if you want to be in the commercial line, I mean, do some random commercials that you can think of, and then something might happen out of that. The thing is to get yourself noticed. and maybe take opportunity to meet people outside. I mean, once this period is over, when people can meet each other, is to learn off of them or meet them, ask for advice. Because for me, how I started, I think you know Stephen Bones.
Yes.
I met him back in 2011. He was doing some talk on voice acting, and that's how I would like, oh, I've been doing this wrong, and he told me to do a few of these things, and so I did some of them. So, and meet people, ask for advice, talk, don't be shy. Yeah.
Actually, in honing your craft, how important is it to have, like you mentioned Stephen Bones, who's
Yeah.
been doing this for like yonks, right?
Yeah.
How important is it also to have these character voice over actor heroes?
Mentors.
Yeah, like
sort of.
mentors, or maybe they're in the US or whatever, but my God, I just love the way this guy sounds. How does he do it? Who are some of your big time heroes? I mean, if you can even remember.
Oh man, Mark Hamill.
Right? The Joker. he
Yeah,
did,
the Joker. Troy Baker. Who I mean, if you play Last of Us, I mean that's what I'm playing right now.
Right.
Yeah. So and for female voices, Tara Strong.
Right.
Yeah, she voiced Raven from I forgot that Teen Titans.
Titans.
Yeah.
Mel Blanc?
Oh, that's the OG, man.
Yeah.
Everyone gotta know him. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know him. I gotta go
Mel
Google
Blanc,
him
he
up
did
now.
he did
All the Warner Brothers.
Bugs Bunny, Daffy, he
Yeah.
did all of
That's
it.
all him.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And he could do it all in like one go.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Can you?
I wish. I can do like a few that on top of my head. Yeah. It was like, nama saya Agent Rizwan. Day, apa awak buat sekarang?
Tapi saya sedang main game, mana saya tahu.
That's pretty good, man. That's brilliant.
Thank you so much, Azman,
Awesome.
for
Thank you for
dropping
having me.
by and for
Yeah.
sharing with us your different path. And hopefully, yeah, it will inspire other people to take up this path.
Yeah, of
this
course.
very different path.
It's a path everyone would love to take.